Hey, I'm Bob. Been totally blind since birth, and I'm into Star Wars. So it's March 5th of 2022 as I film this video. It's Rebels Remembered Day. I believe that's the hashtag going around. I've seen memes and GIFs. Well, not seen them because my screen reader can't describe them. They've been going around spotlighting people's favorite moments of Star Wars Rebels. And I figured I'd do a vocal video in which I went over a couple of mine. So yeah, March 5th, back in 2018, was the day the series finale aired, and we got to see family reunion and farewell. But man, when the show premiered back in 2014, I'll say the thing that caught me was the voice cast. I mean, you had Taylor Gray as Ezra, Vanessa Marshall as Hera, Steve Blum as Zeb, Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan. You had Tia Sircar as Sabine, and you had, well, I think we all kind of suspect who voices Chopper, but we don't really know for sure. I think his first name starts with a D and his last name starts with an F. That's all I'm going to say. We'll just let Chopper voice Chopper. I mean, who the heck knows? So, what a great cast for the show. And I mean, in Clone Wars, you get to see so many characters doing so many different things and so many different arcs. But Rebels, we get to focus on this, well, family from start to finish. We follow them through 4 seasons of high adventure and, swashbuckling Star Wars action. And I think that's what really made the show addictive to me. You never knew what the next twist of the snake was going to be in terms of the plot. And I think some of the things in season 1 that I liked was probably getting to see the Inquisitor for the first time, voiced by Jason Isaacs. Man, that guy was just really interesting, and I liked his lightsaber that he wielded. What else did I like in season 1? Cool to see Governor Tarkin showing up, voiced by Steve Stanton. Love that guy in A New Hope, and I think he showed up around the time his novel debuted. I don't know for sure, but it seemed like that was right around the same time. And I think Stephen Stanton had read the book and said that he really enjoyed it, getting to know Tarkin's background and some of the things he had to go through back on Eriadu. So at the end of season 1, of course, having Ahsoka Tano's existence confirmed was one of the coolest moments, I think, in anything Star Wars. And hearing Ashley Eckstein back voicing the character, that was just such an amazing, epic moment for a lot of Star Wars fans, I think. I mean, we kind of wondered if that was her doing the fulcrum thing throughout season 1. I didn't have the technology to, get through all of the flanging or whatever the heck they did to scramble the voice, but I was hoping it was her. I just had to depend on my ears alone. And when you have friends that goof around with you, when you're a kid and come up behind you and play Guess Who I Am, you kind of get pretty good at it. Well, not as good as you'd like to be, but kind of good. So I'm glad we got to see her at the end of season 1. And in season 2, of course, hearing James Earl Jones voicing Vader was just wow. And having Sarah Michelle Gellar show up as an Inquisitor, boy, she makes one great dark side character in Star Wars. I really wish they could have done more with her character, but alas, we only got to see her in 1 season. I think they were pretty much done with the Inquisitors after season 2. We didn't see any more. And but yeah, season 2 was amazing on quite a few different levels. I mean, we get to see Sam Witwer back as Darth Maul. And there at the end of season 2, when Vader was dueling Ahsoka there, man, that just held my interest from start to finish. And then, of course, we were left wondering what the heck happened to Ahsoka. I think most of us were pretty sure she was still around, but I mean, how Star Wars is, you're left speculating for a while. So we had quite a lot to talk about for a year and a half or so. And man, I think in season 3, one of the coolest moments for former 90s kid me was when we got to see Grand Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars canon. When he showed up in that one trailer, before season 3 started, I just about flipped my lid. I don't know how to do reaction videos, and I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, but yeah, I was freaking out, let me tell you. So Lars Mikkelsen, boy, he does a great Grand Admiral Thrawn. He was everything I wanted Thrawn to sound like. Very calculating, very soft-spoken. He was always plotting and planning, and you could hear that in Mikkelsen's performance as Thrawn. I loved his vocal portrayal of Thrawn there. And I forgot to mention David Oyelowo as Agent Kallus from the beginning of the series and throughout. I like his character progression. I mean, he starts out the series as one thing, and as he sees this family helping each other out over the series, I love how he eventually joins it there. I think sometime in season 3. Another thing in season 3 that stood out to me was when Kanan. Well, it's actually at the end of season 2, was when Kanan lost his sight. I've never had it to begin with, so I've spent, the majority of my life adapting to not having it. But, having something and then losing it like that in a lightsaber duel, I mean, that must have been something. And, kind of seeing him getting back up after that was, it was to be expected, because, that's what Jedi do. They keep going. And that's what the rebels do throughout the show. They keep getting biffed and baffed and get right back up, and they keep on going. And I like Sabine's character development throughout the show. I feel like she started the series off kind of as an island unto herself. She would tell Hera, little things here and there. And of course, I think she probably confided in Hera a great deal about, the things that she'd done before joining the rebels. But it was cool seeing her open up to the rest of the crew as the series progressed. She realizes that she has a family, and she trusts them more and more as the series progresses. So, man, Ruch being made canon there in season 4 was pretty cool. Loved hearing Warwick Davis voicing him. Hopefully we'll see more of the Nogri in live action. I would love to see them show up in The Mandalorian at one point. They'd make pretty interesting little assassins, those Nogri. I'd like to see a couple of those action figures in the 3 3/4 inch line from Hasbro. I can't not do a Star Wars video and not talk about action figures. It's just beyond me. So, man, season 4 was a heck of a ride. Cool getting to go back to Mandalore. You get to hear Katie Sackhoff back as Bo-Katan, and man, hearing Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa as Sabine's dad. Finally got to hear him in Star Wars. See, when I was a 90s kid, I always thought he'd make a great voice for Prince Shizor from Shadows of the Empire. He just sounded like he would make a great Shizor. And I'll probably never get that, but hey, the dude's in Star Wars voicing a Mandalorian, so that's fine. So it's cool hearing him in season 4, and getting to hear Ian McDiarmid back as Palpatine in season 4 was also pretty cool. So I love how Ian can go from your best friend to your worst enemy in a matter of seconds. During that finale, he is showing his, kindly old uncle persona to Ezra as he's tempting him to betray everyone he knows and to give in to him. And then, when Ezra doesn't give in to temptation, he just completely shifts gears in no time flat, and his hologram dissipates, and you get to see his true colors there. Ezra gets to see his true colors. Oh yeah, and getting to hear Ashley Eckstein back as Ahsoka in season 4 in that World Between Worlds episode, man, that was, I think, a big sigh of relief to a lot of Star Wars fans, knowing that she was all right, and we were going to get more to do with Ahsoka. Now, as for the ending of Rebels, we're still waiting to know where the heck Thrawn and Ezra are. Ahsoka asked that question in The Mandalorian, and I think a lot of us are still wondering what the heck's going on with that. It's been, a handful of years since then. Maybe we'll get to to see Ezra and Thrawn at some point. I loved how Rebels ended, though. It left you wanting more. And, I mean, we all know Dave and company aren't done with these characters. And it'll be interesting to see them in live action. And having D. Baker come in Rebels as well and doing all the clones, well, it was definitely one thing I wanted to see, more of the Clone Wars characters incorporated into this show, because, I mean, they were still around, of course. Anyway, I guess this will do for my short-ish and sweet Rebels Remembered video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'd make it longer, but you don't want to be here for like half an hour listening to me reminiscing about the show. I mean, I could do a part 2, and maybe I will at some point. It's just such an epic TV show, far too epic to be covered in one video. But that's just a couple of highlights of the show for me. I'm wondering if I'm missing anything. Oh yeah, one last thing. Cool to hear Stephen Stanton doing the voice of Old Ben, as I like to call him, from A New Hope. I mean, getting to see Maul and Obi-Wan in one last confrontation, even though it was short, man, what an episode that was. When Stephen was voicing Obi-Wan, it felt like Alec Guinness had stepped out of, 1976, 77, and you were hearing him in Star Wars again. He channeled the guy. I don't know how else to describe it. He did such a great job with both Kenobi and Tarkin. I think a lot of these guys they always bring their A game when it comes to the voice acting. Sorry about focusing on that a lot, but that's how the characters are brought to life for me. So you'll probably hear me talk about, the actors frequently. So, okay. Well, I'll hear you guys in the next Star Wars related video. May the Force be with you. Happy Rebels Remembered Day. A lot of R's in that last sentence, huh? And till next time.